yourself a few minutes to settle in that position. So noticing how the body feels, notice if there is any tension anywhere, notice if you feel straight, a bit wonky, a bit twisted. I'm not changing anything, just notice where I am at the moment before the session. And then same as usual, focusing the breath into the belly. So see if I can encourage the diaphragm to move, encouraging that relax the belly breath, switching off the front of the chest to the front of the neck, encouraging those muscles to stay soft, to stay relaxed. As you feel that the body and the breath are a little bit more settled, more relaxed, then I'm going to focus on the back. Mid-back, I'm going to start going for a little flexion side to side. So if you're lying down, same as usual, using one hand to support the head. If I'm sitting up, the head is supported on top of the shoulder, so I don't need to do anything. I'm just going to start pulling gently from one side, coming back to the center, flexing down to the other side. So nice and easy lateral flexion. See if I can picture the rib cage moving off to the side, making sure that nothing is pinching or catching into the lower back. I'm not creating any pain. I'm not creating any discomfort. So nice long reach one way, coming back, nice long reach the other. Especially if you're seated, the tendency is to start coming forward. See if you can imagine a wall behind you, imagine the back of your chair. Imagine to be keeping the shoulders against that wall behind you as you're moving from side to side. So I'm not leaning forward, I'm not creating that pressure at the front of the belly. I'm trying to keep the space at the front of the belly and then just ease the body from side to side. 4, 3, 2, 1, and releasing back, returning the body back to the middle, resetting the shoulders, adjusting the back if you need to. And then from lateral flexion, I'm going to go into a little rotation. So reaching the arms to the front, I'm going to clasp the hands together or keep the hands slightly apart. And then I'm just going to start to swing him away from one side over to the other, rolling from one shoulder onto the other side. Same as you did for the lateral flexion. See if you can picture the rotation at the top of the spine. So see if I can try and loosen up some of the stiffness, or some of ease off, or some of the stiffness, or some of the tension from the upper body, from the top of the back. So side to side. If I'm seated, I've got a little bit more space, so I might be able to reach back a little bit more if the spine allows me to go that far. If I'm laying down, I'm a little bit limited for space as the floor is going to get in my way. So see if you can think of the shoulders turning, but the hips of the bum staying on the ground. 5, 4, 3, 2, last time. And releasing back, returning the shoulders back to the middle. Hopefully the midsection feels a little bit looser. I'm going to start to focusing on the shoulder joints a little bit more. I'm going to start off with a little front raise. I'm going to raise the right arm up to the front, and then I'm going to take it as high, as far back as I feel comfortable. And I'm going to ease that arm back. And then with the other arm, I'm going to do the same. So I'm going to try and lift up as high up as I feel comfortable. And then I'm going to come back again. So it could be a very little lift. It could be a big lift, making sure that there is no catching in the shoulder and no referred pain down the arms. So no tingling into the fingertips. There's no pain through the arm. Progressively, as the shoulder gets warmer, I might be able to make the movement a little bit bigger, especially in the seated position. The weight of the arm will be greater. So it will feel that the arm feels a lot heavier. So the tendency, if it starts becoming too heavy, is to start to tense in the neck. If you find yourself a shrug in the neck, just give yourself a little bit of a rest. I'm just going to relax through the shoulders, and then I'm going to start again when I feel that the neck is relaxed. I feel that I can use the shoulder instead. 4, 3, 2, last one, and release and down. Giving the shoulders a little bit of a roll, relaxing the shoulders, releasing the arms. I'm going to change the direction of the movement slightly. This time, instead of trying to reach to the front, I'm going to swing the arm off to the side. So I'm going to open the right arm out to the right, big swing to the side, and then I'm going to come back to the center. Then with the left, I'm going to do the same, and then coming back. It's the same as I did for that front raise. It doesn't matter if the movement is small. See if I can think of a nice relaxed movement in the shoulder joint. One arm might be able to go higher than the other. One shoulder might be feeling a little bit stiffer. And then same as usual, if you play with the position of the hand, if I turn my hand in as if I turn my hand out, that's going to affect my forearm, but it's also going to affect the top of the arm. So if you find that the shoulder tends to click or tends to catch, so I can feel it pinching, if I play with the position of the hand, I might actually turn the arm so that I can lift a little bit higher, and it might not be so pinching, it might not be so uncomfortable as I take the arm there. 4, 3, 2, last one, and releasing back, releasing the shoulders, relaxing the arms. There's a little bit more movement through the shoulder joint as it feels a little bit warmer. I'm going to see if I can start combining the directions together. So I'm going to reach the right arm to the front. Imagine to be holding a pen in your hand. I'm going to start drawing circles in front of me. So I'm going to start with a little circle, and then I might try to draw the circle a little bit bigger, and I might try to draw it a little bit bigger until I find that I've got a circle that is big enough. It's not creating grinding in the shoulder. It works for the shoulder, it works for the arm. 3, 2, 1. I want to reverse the direction, so I'm going to go around the other way, reducing or increasing the size of the circle if you need to. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and releasing back, relaxing the shoulder. I'm going to switch to the left side. It's exactly the same. I'm going to hold my pen. I'm going to start drawing a little circle, and then progressively see if I can spiral the circle, making it a little bit bigger and a little bit bigger, until eventually I find that I've got a good size circle. It's not grinding, it's not pinching, it's not catching. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm going to reverse the direction, going the other way. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, last one, and releasing back, relaxing the shoulder, relaxing the arm. Shoulder feels a little bit warmer. I'm going to change the direction of the movement one more time. I want to get a little internal rotation going. So if I'm seated, I've got quite a lot of space behind me. If I'm lying down, again, I'm limited for space as my back is resting on the floor. imagine to be sliding your right hand behind the back. So I'm going to turn the arm in, and then I'm going to try and reach my right hand behind the back. Then I'm going to come back. I'm going to turn the left in, and then I'm going to reach it behind the back. If you seated and the shoulder allows you to, you can start reaching a little bit higher up the back. If I'm lying down, obviously I'm resting on the rib cage, so I can't go very far. But see if I can encourage that little slide behind. So I'm going to reach my hand behind the back, release, reach one hand behind the back, and release. I'm just noticing how different one shoulder might be feeling compared to the other. I'm not forcing anything, just to see if I can try and find a relaxed movement. Notice the shoulder, making sure that, again, I'm not shrugging it up, I'm not stiffening into the neck. 4, 3, 2, 1, and releasing back, relaxing the shoulders, relaxing the arms. There's a little bit more movement into the shoulders, into the upper body. I'm going to see if I can start getting the legs a little bit more involved. So what I want is a little bit of mobility, is a little bit more movement into the hip joint. So I'm going to start off with a little side to side, so with a little knee drop. So keeping the knees bent, I'm going to shuffle the feet nice and close together. I'm going to start opening the right leg out to the right, and then bringing it back to the center. I'm going to stay on the right side. I'm just going to repeat on the right leg. So I'm going to open and close. Same as usual. It doesn't matter if the movement is really small, but see if you can picture the top of the femur, the top of the leg, just moving gently into the hip socket. So see if I can try and massage the hip joint. It's a nice loose movement. I could use the hand to help me move the leg if the leg feels a bit stiff, feels a little bit restricted. So see if I can try and warm up into the joint. Just a gentle rocking side to side. Going bigger if the hip allows me to go bigger. Keeping it small if I feel that it's too heavy, too much to go for a bigger movement. If you're lying down, exactly the same. Making sure that as the leg opens, nothing seems to be pinching or catching in the hip or creating pressure in the groin. Making sure that the hips are staying on the floor, so the pelvis is not rolling to the side, the bum is not twisting to the side. 3, 2, 1, and releasing back, relaxing the hip, releasing the leg. I'm going to try the same thing with the other side. So adjusting the position if you need to. I'm going to start opening that left leg out to the left. Then closing it back to the center, and then open it out again. So same as you did on the right side, see if you can find that loose movement into the hip, just so gently massaging in the hip joint. See if I can try and encourage the leg to move. However small the movement is, making sure that I'm not forcing, so it's not creating pain in the groin or pain into the side of the hip, into the side of the bum. 5, 4, 3, 2, last one, and releasing back, relaxing the hips and releasing the legs. Just a little bit more movement. I'm going to try and see if I can change the direction. So from a knee drop, I'm going to try and come up into a little knee lift. So I'm going to try and come up onto the ball of the foot and then see if I can lift the foot off the ground. Then I'm going to return the foot back And then I'm going to repeat on the same side. So I'm just going to stay with the right leg or with the left leg. Same as usual. If the leg is a bit temperamental, so I can't really control it, then I'm going to use the band. I'm just going to put the band around the back of the leg. And then I'm just going to use the band to encourage that movement. Same as you did for the in and out. See if you can just to focus on creating movement into the hip joint, however small it is. But see if I can try and loosen off with some of the stiffness, some of the tension from the hip. So using the band, using the hands if you want to, or just going for a little lift. The foot doesn't need to lift off the ground, just to see if I can feel a little movement deep into the hip joint. 5, 4, 3, 2, last one, and releasing down, relaxing the hip, relaxing the arms if you were using them to pull on the leg. I'm going to repeat the same thing with the other side. So switching the band around the other leg if you need the band for a little support, and then I'm just going to start lifting that left leg. So creating that little lifting and lowering, same as you did on the other side, just to see if I can encourage some movement into the hip joint. Just trying to loosen up, trying to relax as much as I can, no forcing, no stiffening. If you're using the arms to help you, see if you can think of a little tension coming from your biceps, from the front of the arm, but making sure that you don't feel tension lifting into the shoulders, lifting into the neck. 5, 4, 3, 2, last one, and releasing back, relaxing the hip, releasing the leg. So it's a little bit more movement into the hip joint. I'm going to try and see if I can create a little bit more connection through the inside of the leg first. So I'm going to grab hold of my cushion, ball, pillow. I can even use my hands. I'm just going to clench the fist and then pop them between the inner thighs, just as something to be focusing on. And then this time I'm just going to try and squeeze on the pillow, squeeze on the ball. So I'm going to press into the ball and then ease the pressure. I'm going to squeeze and release. So see if you can try and find the connection to the inside of the legs, the same as usual, same as before, using the hands to help me guide that leg in the right direction, noticing if the legs are working the same amount, or it feels that one leg is really pushing in, the other leg is just holding. See if I can focus on the side that is holding, see if I can try and find a better connection to that side. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Last one, I want you to squeeze and hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Release. Pushing the ball out of the way, relaxing the inner thigh. I'm going to try and use the tension to see if I can create a little bit more opening through the inner thigh. So I'm going to put my hands on the inside of the legs, and then I'm going to squeeze the knees in. If you're laying down on the back, if you can't reach with the hands, just to think of squeezing the inside of the knees together. I'm going to take a deep breath in. 5, 4, 3, 2. I'm going to release the tension and then pushing with the hands to see if I can get the legs to open up a little bit wider. Then I'm going to bring them back in again. I'm going to squeeze them together. 5, 4, 3, 2. 1, and then I'm going to relax to see if I can push them out a little bit more. One more time. Bring them in, squeeze them together. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Open out to see if I can go a little bit more. This time, holding the legs out there. See if I can just stretch gently. If I'm lying down, just using gravity, just the weight of the leg flopping to the side to help me release the tension. If I'm sitting up, I might put a little bit of tension using my hands, trying to push out onto the legs. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and releasing back, easing the legs back to the middle, releasing the hips, releasing the legs. I'm going to try and focus on the opposite. I'm going to try and focus on the side of the hip this time. So if you're laying down, I want you to roll over onto your side. So setting up for a little climb. If you're sitting up, you can use your hand or you can use the band or the strap. I'm just going to put the strap loose around the legs. So a little bow, a little knot will do. And then focusing on the right leg only, I'm going to start pushing out onto the band. I'm going to try and drive the leg as far out as I can. And then I'm going to control it back in again. So I'm going to push out and control it back in again. So focusing on the same leg, focusing on the same side. See if I can get that lateral opening. See if I can feel the side of the bum tensing. If you're on your side, making sure that the knees are bent, the hips or the bum is staying on the side. It's just the leg that is trying to lift and rotate, and then rotate and come back. 4, 3, 2. Last one, I want you to hold the tension out. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and releasing down. Relaxing the hip, releasing the leg. If you're sitting up, keep the band around the knees. We're going to focus on the other side. If I'm lying down, I'm just going to roll over onto the other side and then set myself on the other side, on the other leg. So same starting position, keeping the feet nice and close together. I'm going to start opening out with the other side, with the other leg. So see if I can think of that gentle tension coming down the side of the hip, the side of the leg, pushing out and then closing back in. Working against the resistance of the band, or just using the hand to apply a little pressure in that you're working against. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Last one, I'm going to hold that lift, hold that squeeze. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and releasing down. Giving the hip a little tap, relaxing the hip, releasing the leg. I'm going to let the legs have a little rest. I'm going to try and focus on the upper body again. If you're on your side, staying on your side, I'm going to bend the knees, bring the feet to just bring the knees up just a little bit higher so that they're directly in front of the hips. The arm that is on the floor, I'm going to pull it straight ahead, pull it forward so that the back of the shoulder is resting on the ground. Using a little something under the head if you need to, making sure that there is no strain on the neck. And then from there, I'm just going to start opening the door, turning the rib cage up and towards the ceiling, see if I can try and create a nice stretch across the front of the chest. Then easing my way back and then starting again. If you're seated, I'm going to reach my left hand across to the right leg. So I'm just going to hold the legs across to the side. I'm going to lift myself up nice and high, and then with the right arm, I'm going to reach out and behind as if I was trying to pass something and somebody behind me. Then I'm going to return back to the front, and then I'm going to try and swing my way around and then open to the back again. So see if you can think of a nice rotation. So I'm turning to look at something. I'm turning to pass something to somebody else. I'm turning to reach and grab hold of something behind me. So see if I can encourage a nice rotation without forcing, so I don't want to cause myself any pain. And then at the same time, no matter if you're seated or lying down, see if you can be aware of tension into the neck. There shouldn't be tension into the neck. I'm just turning to look around to the back. If I feel tension on the neck, it means that my arm is going, but my body is not. See if you can think of taking the body with you. So I want to take my shoulders, my chest as I reach to the back, and then returning to the front. 3. 2. Last one. And releasing back, relaxing the shoulders, giving the shoulders a little bit of a roll, making sure that there is no tension, no stiffness into the neck. If you're lying down, I want you to switch over to the other side again, and then we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So remember, the arm is straight forward in front of you, so you're resting on the back of the shoulder, you're not crashing the arm. If I'm seated with my right hand, I'm going to hook across to the left thigh to help me create a little leverage, making sure that the legs don't come with me. And then with the left arm, I'm just going to start opening to the back. So first movement, I know that it's always the stiff one, so it feels small. And then progressively, as the back gets warmer, as the body feels a little bit more comfortable with the movement, I might be able to turn even further, making sure that I'm not forcing that turn. Then if you're on your side, making sure that the head is supported. If you feel that the neck is not comfortable, the legs are not moving, it's just the upper body that is turning. 5. 4. 3. 2. Neck nice and relaxed. Last one. And releasing back, relaxing the shoulder, releasing the arm. When you're ready, rolling onto your back. If you're lying down, I want you to hug the knees to the chest and then see if you can create a nice gentle stretching across the lower and the middle back. If I'm sitting up, I want to create a little bit of a stretch around the middle of the back. So I'm going to hook the hands behind the legs or around the knees, and then I'm going to hold tight onto the legs, and then I'm trying to push the rib cage back. So I'm trying to round the back as much as I can. I'm going to try and create a nice stretch across the shoulders and then down the back of the rib cage. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Releasing. Trying again. I'm going to hold on tight onto the legs and then pull back, round in the back as much as I can. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And release. Last time. Hold on tight onto the legs and then rounding and opening up the space at the back. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And releasing back. Relaxing through the shoulders, adjusting the back if you need to. I'm going to work in reverse. So if you're laying down, dropping the feet back down onto the mat, we're going to be working in extension. So exactly the opposite to what I've done. If I'm laying down, I'm just going to start lifting the chest up and towards the ceiling, see if I can create space at the back of the rib cage. If I'm sitting up, this time I'm going to put the hands onto the thighs, and then with the arms, I'm trying to push back. With the chest, I'm trying to push forward. So see if I can try and encourage that little extra lift at the top. Then I'm going to relax. And then again, I'm going to try and push myself forward and up, and then release and back. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and releasing back, releasing the shoulders, the upper back. Again, I feel a little bit more movement at the top. I want to try and see if I can create a little bit more movement at the bottom of the spine. So I'm going to start going into a little pelvic tilt. So if I'm seated this time, instead of focusing up here into the thoracic, it's creating that movement up at the top. See if I can focus down here into the lumbar, into the lower back, creating a little movement at the bottom of the spine. So I'm going to rock back onto my tailbone, and then I'm going to try and pick myself up onto my seat bones. Rock back onto the tailbone, and then pick myself back up onto the seat bones. So just a little movement, feeling the lower back going this time. The little tilt, and then releasing the tilt. So if I'm lying down, it's nice as I've got the floor to guide me. I'm going to roll my hip back, pressing the lower back gently into the mat, and then forward back into neutral. So back and then forward. Massaging the back of the hips, massaging the back of the pelvis, releasing the lower back. See if you can notice that gentle tension at the front of the belly that allows you to create that little movement. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Returning the hips back to the middle, and then from a little pelvic tilt, I'm going to go for a little side hitch. So I'm going to hitch my right hip up towards the right side of the rib cage, the left to the left. So this time, instead of rocking forward and back, I'm just going to rock side to side, side to side. If you're sitting on the chair, same as usual, imagine to be lifting one of the seat bones off the ground. So I'm going to tense through the side of the belly, see if I can try and hit one hip up, and then tense the other side of the belly, see if I can hitch up the other side. I'm going to try and pull up on the right, pull up on the left, pull up on one side, pull up on the other. So just a gentle side to side movement to see if I can, again, ease off a little bit more tension from the lower back and the back of the hips. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and releasing back, releasing the hips, so releasing the lower back. And then lastly, to left foot, I'm going to walk the feet a little bit closer to the hips so the knees are bent. This time, see if I can make the back of the bum do the work. I'm going to push down through the soles of the feet. If I'm sitting down, I'm going to lean forward slightly and then squeeze in with the bum cheeks. So see if I can picture myself lifting off the chair. Then I'm going to ease myself back into the chair. And then again, I'm going to come forward slightly, pushing down through the feet to squeeze in the bum cheeks. See if I can get the bum to pull away and then easing back. So I don't need to physically lift the hips off the chair. If I can, I'm going to lift them. But see if you can think of that tension that is almost like squeezing you up slightly, so I can feel the tension at the back of the bum. And then I'm just going to relax back again. If you're lying down, you've got a little bit more range that you can use. So I'm going to push down through the soles of the feet and then squeezing my hips up, lower back, rib cage if I can. And then I'm just going to release my way back down again. 5, squeezing up. And then slowly coming back. 4. And back. 3. And back. 2. On the next one, I want you to squeeze and hold that squeeze. So I'm going to drive with the hips, so drive with the feet, hold that tension. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release and down. Try again, squeezing up. Hold that tension. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Coming down. Last time. Squeezing up. Hold that tension. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And release and down. If you're on your back, hugging the knees to the chest, stretching the lower back and the back of the hips. If you're sitting up, I'm going to come forward over the legs. So I'm going to round the back slightly, just making sure that there is no sciatica pain shooting down the leg. So there's no pain tingling coming down the leg. I'm going to grab a hold of one leg. And then as if I was trying to hug that leg into the chest to see if I can create a little stretch around the back of the hip and into the back of the bum. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. Hugging the other leg if I'm seated, both legs are nice and tight. Pull them towards you if you're lying down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release and back. Bringing yourself back into that nice upright position, allowing the hips to relax. Then when you're ready, shuffling the knees, feet and the knees nice and close together. And then no matter if you're seated or laying down, I'm going to let both legs go over to the right. So if I'm seated, I'm going to use my hand to push them. I'm just going to try and drive them over to the right. I'm going to push the left shoulder back, and then I'm going to turn to look over that left shoulder. If I'm lying down, I'm going to use the hand again to push the legs a little bit closer to the floor, making sure that the left shoulder stays on the floor, turning to look around that way. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, release, swap inside. I'm going to reach that left hand across to the right. I'm going to push the legs to the left, right hand, right shoulder pushes back. And then I'm going to turn to look behind that right shoulder. See if I can create a gentle stretch coming around the other way. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release and back to the middle. Bring the shoulders and the legs back to the center. And then I'm going to try and find a little stretch behind the shoulder this time. So I'm going to reach the right arm straight in front of me. And then with the left hand, I'm going to hook either above or below the elbow joint. So making sure that I'm not pulling on the elbow joint, that might lock the joint. I'm going to try and hug that right knee, not the right knee, the right arm nice and close to the chest until I can feel a little stretch going behind the right shoulder into the middle of the back. If I want to make the stretch a little bit stronger, with the left arm, I'm going to pull the right arm towards me. And with the right arm, I'm going to resist that pull. So I'm going to push away slightly. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Relaxing the shoulder. I'm going to try the same thing with the other arm. So I'm going to bring the left arm across the front of the chest, hooking it with the right arm. I'm going to pull it towards me until I can feel the stretch going around the shoulder into the back of the shoulder. If I want to make it a little bit stronger, I'm going to keep pulling with the right arm, and then I'm just going to push away gently with the left, creating a little bit more tension. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and releasing back. Giving the shoulders a little bit of a roll. If you're lying down, rolling over onto your side, and in your own time, pushing yourself up into sitting. Finding a comfortable seated position, leaning against the wall, leaning against something. If you know that you're quite stiff, so you can't sit up, it feels that if you're going to fall back. So if you can try and bring yourself into a comfortable position, giving yourself that space at the front to encourage the space at the front of the belly. I'm going to take a deep breath in. As I breathe out, I'm going to try and create as much space at the front of the body as I can. Pushing the chest forward, I'm going to lift it up. I'm going to look forward, look up, look back. Think of a nice opening that starts at your pubic bone, comes up the belly, breastbone all the way down the front of the throat to your chin. Then I'm going to release, relax. I'm going to let the chin drop down to the chest, allowing the back of the neck to open up. I'm allowing the shoulders to come forward, the back of the rib cage to stretch, dropping forward as far as I feel comfortable, as far as I can. And then I'm curling back up again, trying to create that length, that space at the front. So from the pubic bone, imagine it zipping up through the belly, the breastbone, up the front of the throat, all the way into the chin, looking up, looking back. And then releasing, coming forward, allowing the back of the neck to open, the back of the rib cage, the lower back to stretch out if you can. Last time. I'm curling all the way back up, as much space as you can at the front of the body. And then I'm going to release back. One hand to the belly, one hand to the back. Take your bow. Give yourself a clap well done. Any question or anything as usual, please say. Remember, you need to